this one?
And
And what does it mean to have
I'm
aimed?
putting one thing at another thing.
Okay,
Practiced.
let's read it again. There's no A. What's the E sound?
10.
What's the ED?
You're doing something.
What is it? You didn't say the word yet. What's your number? 3.
And then 10.
Bottom.
Pretended. So what's it mean when they have pretended to do something?
Like I pretended to fly a plane. Captain.
What is captain?
The leader.
Okay. Sound out. Familiar.
Familiar.
Okay, so what is
Familiar means that, like, I know this classroom because I've been here.
okay? Sound this one out. Pro.
Professional.
There you go.
Like Ted's dad. He's a professional.
What was he a professional at?
NBC.
NBA.
Hallmark, like a hall monitor, and make sure that everything's right where it is. Nothing's out of place. Nothing's where it's not supposed to be. It's all right.
Yep. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the sheet, and it's just a little practice. Read the story, and then you're gonna circle all the words where the letter E stands for the short vowel sound you hear in bed. So what's the short vowel sound that it says in bed?
No E.
Well,
Eh.
what did it say in the story?
Okay, so let's write your name.
Yeah, she taught him, right? Okay. Who's a professional
Okay.
player? He knows how.
Read it out loud. Go ahead.
Jen,
Jack
do
Wick is a
you
professional basketball
want
player,
to
so
go
he definitely
sledding?
knows how. Why?
ask
Yeah.
Fred?
Why do you think
Jen said
that he
yes.
lets Pat
Let's
teach
go.
Ted instead of him teaching Ted?
Fred got his red sled. Jen got her black sled.
Hey, but why did he let her then? Shouldn't he be a good teacher if he's a professional?
Led
Okay, but he let her. Why?
led Fred
Why
up
did he let
the
her?
hill. They went up to the top. Fred went down fast.
No, he didn't let
He
her. He let Pat be the teacher.
Ed
Why did he let Pat teach it? Ted how to shoot the basket.
asked 10 men.
Did it work? Whatever Pat was teaching him.
Jen went next.
So you think he probably just figured she was doing a good job?
Ed passed 10 hills.
We don't need to do that.
Hence. What are they doing at a farm?
So we go ahead and go to this.
Jen said, Fred, that was the best. Fred said yes.
Me too, but they're quite
Now
time
I
consuming and
have
messy.
to rest.
Okay, so let's go back through. Let's do the first sentence. Jen, do you want to go sledding? So which words have the eh sound in it? Like in
You need
bed.
to read this first.
So Jen
Okay, so circle Jen. Okay, what's your next one? Do.
you want to go sledding and sledding in the muertos.
Okay. Asked Fred. Jen said yes.
Asked Fred. Jen
Said have the same sound as the ed.
Yes.
S.
And we got
Okay. Lots of N.
little stuff.
Short E sounds. Okay.
Let's go. Fred got his red sled.
Let's. Fred.
Okay. Jen got her black sled. So start with the first one.
Jen. Sled.
Jen got her black sled. Okay. Jen, I can't see. Jen led Fred up the hill. What's your first one?
Jen.
Okay. They went up to the top.
They went
Okay. What about? Yep. Fred went down fast.
Fred down.
He sped past 10 men.
He sped past 10 men.
Is that
What?
all of them?
Best?
He sped past
No.
10 men. When did you forget? Jen went next.
Put a star on it.
Jen went next.
Okay. She sped past 10 hens.
She sped.
Now does she and bed have the sound, same E sound? So that one.
So
Have
she
we-
sped
I'm making a mess.
past 10 hens.
Let me think about that.
N is eh. Sound the same as the ed.
Okay.
Okay. Jen said, Fred,
Where did
that
it take
was the
place?
best.
Jen said, Fred, that was the best.
Okay. Fred said, yes. Now I have to rest.
Fred.
S. But eh.
Fred said
Get
yes
placed in the playground.
to rest.
Good job. Okay. So write a word that you circled in
You
the
have
story
it placed
to
in the
complete
playground.
each
Does that make
sentence.
sense?
Whoa, that's awful.
Get what?
Fred and Jen will go. Where will they go? What's your word?
You spelled place right.
Sled.
You spelled place.
Okay. Fred has a blank sled. What color sled did he have?
Sled had a red sled.
Did you guys put that? Okay, because Glenn's leaving at 20 to 2. So
Please
I'll
do
do
that.
that.
Okay.
So just so you know that he's leaving early
Okay,
today.
sounds good. Thank
Who
you.
were the characters?
Okay. Jen blank Fred to the top of the hill.
Lead.
Very
There's
good.
only 3 characters.
Past it. Find the sentence where it talks about them going to the top of the hill.
Not Fred. Not Fred. Fred is from this story. It's not from this story. Who's it?
It's right here.
Fred got his red sled. Jen got her black sled. Jen.
No, Jen's not in that story. Jen's in this story.
Okay. Fred sledded past 10.
Men.
Ted
Okay.
passed him.
Jen passed 10.
Hens.
Not
Okay.
there, Dad. Just one
Now,
person.
Fred, well.
What's his name?
Rest.
Okay, now I want you to read all the sentences to me.
Fred and Jen will go sledding. Fred has a red sled. Jen led Fred to the top of the hill. Fred's sled
Say your word.
sledded
Sledded.
past 10 men. Jen passed 10
Well, look where he
men.
comes into the
Now
story.
Fred will rest.
Alright, find his name. Read the pages till you find it.
Okay, now you're gonna do this part. Okay, so put your name on it. Okay, so fill in the story map. Tell about the main events, just a little practice. So where was the setting? What is the setting? What
What
is
was
the
the
setting?
setting in the book?
What was the setting in the story? What is a setting? What is a setting?
Yes.
Place, person, or
The place where the story took place. So
Okay,
where
what's
was
your
the
next
story
part?
taking place? You can open your
What?
laptop and look at it.
What's the problem?
Where did the story take place?
Oh, which one?
This one.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought we were talking about that one.
This one.
No,
Well, you're into the problem.
Where was it?
Playground.
Playground. Okay.
What'd you write, sugar?
Okay. Who is your characters?
Ted. Pat.
Addie Mae, what are you writing?
And
Okay, so now we're looking at the problem. So what was Ted's problem? What did he have to do?
That's not the problem. What was the problem? Think about the problem. What was the problem? You don't know what the problem is? Ted what?
okay, how do you spell that?
B. A.
Yeah, what was Ted's problem?
K. E. T.
What was his problem in that
He
story?
couldn't. He cannot get a basket. Does that make sense? What do you mean by a basket? How else could you describe it? What's he trying to get into the basket? So he cannot get the basketball in the basket, maybe?
Okay, let's see. Right.
Did I just write basket again?
He cannot get
No,
a
it's not.
basketball
Close.
in a
It
basket.
wasn't that he didn't know how to do basketball, he didn't know how to what? Shoot a basket. Or make a basket.
Shoot a basket.
Okay, how do you spell basket?
Sound it out. B. A. S. Et. Good job. Okay, so what was Pat's problem in the story?
Okay, well, the Pat's problem, what couldn't she do?
What couldn't she do?
Yeah. No,
What
no,
couldn't she
no,
do?
no. Read the last couple pages.
What was it that happened at the end? That
No, read the whole page. Don't start trying to tell me the answer till you read the whole page.
Keep going. Almost done. Okay. So what happened in the story? What were the events?
They were just playing basketball,
Were they? What were they doing?
practicing basketball.
They were practicing basketball. What happened at the beginning? What did Ted experience?
What's your problem?
Can't shoot a hoop.
Uh-huh. But then what happened?
He shot a hoop.
Uh-huh. And then what happened after that? What happened when the captain came?
Yeah. So Pat can.
Pat can run.
Right.
So what did the captain do?
Taught her how to dribble.
So our events would be what?
Playing basketball.
Practicing
basketball.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so what
They
happens
couldn't-
first?
He couldn't shoot a basket and she couldn't dribble. And then we'll write our solution. Okay.
Pretty much the same as the problem.
You can do it. You're almost done. Actually, it's time. Guess you'll finish
Are you
this.
putting that answers?
Okay.
Oh no, you got
Alright,
that.
thank you.
Since I was able to work with a student one-on-one, the student engagement was very high because I didn't have to worry about any other students during this time. Normally, I would have been doing this lesson with a large group of students, and it would have been a lot more difficult to keep the students on track. Prior to this lesson, the student had read a story that went along with the vocabulary words and the information that we did on the worksheet. And if I would have done this type of lesson with a large group of students, normally I would have done a popcorn style reading, which I would have chose students at random to read sections of the story, which would have made the students have to follow along, or else they would have been lost of what was going on in the story and where we were at in the story. And then once we got to the worksheet, I would assign each student a certain task or section on the worksheet, and then they would be responsible for completing that task and then sharing it with the rest of the group. And this would have helped with student engagement because then the students would know that they would have to share that information with their peers, and if they didn't have anything to present, then they wouldn't have been able to participate with the activity. And this always helps with student engagement simply because it's making them responsible for doing something and giving it to their peers. Overall, the student was not a big challenge simply because he was able to stay on task the entire time. The only thing that I did have a challenge was when the student would interject with different comments that would get him off task of what we were doing in the lesson. And I just had to make sure that I prompted the student after he finished his statement to go back to get on task. I like when students interject because sometimes this can be a learning opportunity for me and the student because sometimes the things that they think of while doing the lesson can make things more clear for them or me. Overall, I thought student engagement was very high, and the student did a great job of getting his work done during the time that he needed and followed directions very well. Thank you.